Alongside the regular Mate 9, HUAWEI also announced the first device in its partnership with Porsche Design, aptly named the Porsche Design Mate 9, which brings the same internals coupled with a curved QHD display, 6GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. The Porsche Design Mate 9 is limited edition, and with the price tag of €1,399, it's definitely not for everyone. Is the Mate 9, in either form, the perfect smartphone for those wanting a big-screen Android experience? Let us find out in this, our HUAWEI Mate 9 review. The design of the Mate 9 isn't really surprising, as it's largely unchanged from last year, although HUAWEI has made it a little more compact and ergonomically friendly. Alongside this, HUAWEI has also added a curved unibody finished with soft-feeling aluminium, and the result is a smartphone that doesn't feel as large as you'd expect. Considering their a 5.9-inch display, you could be forgiven for thinking the Mate 9 is a big phone, and while the display is certainly large, narrow vertical bezels and a slim profile mean it handles a lot better than other large devices. Compared to the Google Nexus 6P or the iPhone 7 Plus, the Mate 9 is infinitely easier to handle and use, despite the larger display. The HUAWEI Mate 9 sports a 5.9-inch 2.5D Full HD IPS display with a density of 373 ppi, while the Porsche Design brings Quad HD resolution in a smaller 5.5-inch AMOLED display with 534 ppi density. You could be forgiven for judging the regular Mate 9 purely on the Full HD resolution, but to do so would take away from the fact the display is fantastic. Like previous HUAWEI devices, there is a super high contrast ratio which offers an immersive experience and helps to shield the fact it has not an AMOLED display. Running both devices through our testing reveals both have a cool display out of the box, with the Porsche Design more accurate than the regular Mate 9, although this can be easily changed in the settings menu. Like most flagships, both devices also come with a blue light filter, which is branded as Eye Comfort Mode and works just as you'd expect by changing the display tone to a much warmer color. HUAWEI's partnership with Leica continues, with the Mate 9 sporting a new and improved second-generation dual-camera setup. Much like the one in the HUAWEI P9, the camera is centered around the Leica-branded dual camera, with a 12-megapixel RGB sensor supplemented by a 20-megapixel Monochrome sensor. Both sensors are behind lenses, with the RGB sensor also sports optical image stabilization for additional stability in photos and videos. Like the P9, the RGB sensor captures the colors in a scene while the Monochrome sensor enhances the detail, and this means the Mate 9 is capable of capturing images with a very impressive bokeh effect. In the right conditions, you're able to take images that top the same effect found in the iPhone 7 Plus and the photosphere feature found on the Pixel XL. Overall, image quality from the Mate 9's dual camera array has been impressive. In daylight, you get images that are crisp, full of detail with colors that are more realistic than those captured by the Galaxy S7 Edge or Pixel XL. Look at past HUAWEI phones and there's a single trend that has defined the company's smartphone efforts to now: hardware is always great but poor software. Like most Chinese OEMs, HUAWEI used to develop its global software in China, without taking into consideration how different the Chinese market is from, well, everywhere else. Earlier this year, we heard that HUAWEI was working on a revamped version of its EMUI interface that would look to address a lot of the issues raised in previous reviews. In the Mate 9 we have just that, with EMUI 5 bringing the latest Android 7.0 Nougat OS as well as several fixes to issues that have plagued HUAWEI smartphones for generations. With that out of the way, what is new with EMUI 5? There is a lot of changes, starting with the new Azure color scheme that is present throughout the UI. It brings with it a complete visual overhaul, with the odd color scheme of old replaced by white backgrounds, faint gray accents and blue highlights and tones. As you might expect, The Mate 9 is packed with the latest internals from HUAWEI in the form of the Kirin 960 chipset, which is made up of ARM's latest Cortex-A73 chipset. The Kirin 960 comes equipped with 4 Cortex-A73 performance cores clocked at 2.4 GHz, paired with 4 Cortex-A53 lower power cores clocked at 1.8 GHz. The Mate 9 is also the first handset to run the new 8-core Mali-G71 MP8 GPU, which is expected to power the Galaxy S8 and other flagship devices next year. The regular Mate 9 comes equipped with 4 GB of RAM and either 64 GB of storage, while Porsche design Mate 9 owners will get 6 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. If you do opt for the regular Mate 9, you do get expandable storage, while the Porsche design Mate 9 is limited to 256 GB of storage. Like most flagship handsets, the Mate 9 comes equipped with the latest internals, including an array of sensor, a fingerprint sensor, and connectivity options. HUAWEI also demonstrates its network infrastructure prowess through the addition of smart Wi-Fi features, excellent antennae and full control over dual SIM functionality. Beneath the camera on the rear, the regular Mate 9 has a lightning-fast fingerprint sensor, in the same vein of those we've come to expect from HUAWEI. It takes around half a dozen taps to register your fingerprint, and once enrolled, you can wake and unlock your phone in under a second. The fingerprint sensor also comes with gesture support, allowing you to tap once to go back a step, press and hold to return to the home screen, and swipe down to access your notifications and shortcuts.